Before we begin with Decoding the Quran, a unique Sufi interpretation by Ahmed Hulusi, let us remember the disclaimer that is put into the meme. And in that spirit, I will be reading commentary and all, and I will attempt to translate or render into the proper Arabic when it's not the case all the Arabized Turkish words are whatever you want to call those parts. And there are a few Arabic words that are not translated. Al-Fatiha. I seek refuge in the protective forces of the names of Allah, comprising my essence from impulses generated by the accursed and rejected regime Satan, which, as a result of preconditioning, causes our sense of illusion to perceive the existent as non-existent and the non-existent as existent, thereby making man believe he is an independent being and body outside the names of Allah, directing man to the idea of an external deity God in the heavens. Now, that way of phrasing it can be misleading to some people, but it means that, we're not separate from deity. Like we're going to find out later about the Iblis. And Iblis, in a way, aside from despairing, in a way means the consciousness of being separate. Now, God is outside and inside of everything and around everything in between, but not the creation. So in that way, separate, but not, God's omnipresent. So that's what it means. By the one who is denoted by the name Allah, who created my being with his names in accord with the meaning of the letter B, the Rahman, the Rahim. Hamd, the evaluation of the corporeal worlds created with his names as he wills, belongs to Allah, the Rabb, the absolute source of the infinite meanings of the names of the worlds, the universe created within the brain of every individual. The Rahman, the quality with which he forms the dimension of names. The quantum potential, the Rahim, the quality with which he continually creates the engendered existence with the meanings of the names. The Malik, the sovereign one who manifests his names as he wishes and governs them in the world of acts as he pleases, the one who has providence over all things, are the Malik, the absolute owner of the external period, governed by the decrees of religion, Sunnatullah. You alone we serve, and from you alone we seek the continual manifestation of your names. By the manifesting the meanings of your beautiful names, we, as the whole of creation, are in a state of natural servitude to you, and we seek guidance to attain and maintain this awareness at all times. Enable the realization that leads to our innermost essential reality, Siratal Mustaqim, the path of those upon whom you have bestowed favor, those who believe in the names of Allah as comprising their essential self and experience, the awareness of their force, not of those who have evoked your wrath, who have failed to see the reality of themselves and the corporeal worlds, and who have become conditioned with their ego identities, nor of those who are astray from the reality and the understanding of the one denoted by the name Allah, the Al-Wahid Ul-Ahad As-Samad, and who thus associate partners with Allah, shirk, duality. And there's absolute agreement about the words of the Quran. Now, there's several dialects, and but there's not conflicting between the dialects in as far as contradictions or that sort of thing. It's just in some words, for example, one dialect will use a meme instead of a noon, or vice versa, or a sin instead of a sod, and vice versa. And we also have, for example, some number the verses different, and that opening bit that we started with is part of the A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim, or some other variation of that. There's 4 of them in the Quran, for example, that people say before following, the command in those verses like 1698 and stuff. But yeah, that's sort of the meaning that he puts with that. But for example, with this chapter, everybody agrees it's 7 verses. But some people are going to say, well, the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is not a numbered verse in any chapter. Some say it's going to always be a numbered verse. They all agree it's there in prefacing 113 chapters and one chapter having it twice. And so in this case, there would be the division of the last verse into 2 verses in other readings. But this one considers the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim as a numbered verse. And some, they don't consider it a numbered verse in the rest of them.